Really what it is it's been about exposing reality. And, in Indigenous communities, this is part of how things are. Colonization transforms everyone. And it's either you're against Indigenous things, or you're in support, or maybe you're somewhere in the middle.
For me, one of the big learnings has been to just sit and listen to the stories, because a lot comes out in a story or in a sharing circle versus just at a meeting, right? So meetings are very we're going to move on to this agenda item at this time. That's not really how Indigenous people share their experiences. It's more about listening to the story and giving time for that story to take shape, and that's where the real learning comes and the impetus for change.
It's just healing with all of our relatives coming together. When we're all in that same room, that is the beauty and the power of who we are. The healing would make more sense if we have more of our people in those different levels in those institutions. The institutions still need to continue to learn. The higher ups need to quit living in their heads and try to understand with their heart, their mind, their body, and their spirit.
Indigenous people are coming out of very, very harsh colonial systems, and that was over the acquisition of land. And so most of the people living throughout Ontario, and especially here in Southwest Ontario, are living on land that was really acquired from Indigenous people illegally. It's really affected our healthcare system and our healthcare needs and our power, I think, in order to take initiative for our own bodies and our own spirits and our own minds.
I see that continued collaboration within our community between Kettle Point, Wapul, Aamjiwnaang, and other First Nations is very necessary to advocate for our community members. We know what works within our communities, we know what is beneficial for communities, and we also need to let our community partners understand that we are the leaders in Indigenous health.
This is a turning point. This is a large funding opportunity. It needs to be much more, but it's substantial. And it really was an opportunity for our Indigenous partners to determine where we need to invest in. As a hospital, we are really grateful that the 4 community Indigenous partners have entrusted Blue Water Health to be such a close ally in this journey. I think it's great that we're doing the brainstorming, we're advising, we're suggesting, but ultimately our Indigenous partners are the ones making the decision. And we are there to support their decision and to help leverage any of our resources to make that decision turn into action.
Paradigms are shifting all over the place, aren't they? Society was always asking us for scientific proof. Do you think that maybe some of the other things we're saying might have some truth to it? We have knowledge, and our knowledge is key to our health. Prior to 1492, we were pretty darn healthy, and we were pretty populous here on Turtle Island. So there's a lot of knowledge that's starting to come forward. We lost a lot, we dropped a lot, we forgot a lot, but just like the language, we're picking that back up.
The integration of Western philosophy and Native traditional cultural philosophy, those two are sometimes viewed as polar opposites to each other. And that may be the case, but if you kind of think about 2 ends with a spectrum in between, I think you can see where one culture can lend its practices or its process to the other and complement each other. And when you lend your diagnostic tools and your testing tools in the process of Native traditional healing, I think it just helps and supports the practitioners, the Native healers, in a way that they're able to have the information that they need to address the issue.
Trust us that we do know what our people need. Because lots of the health professionals don't understand that we have an instant connection with each other. Why? Because that energy of understanding runs through us. It's the spirit that connects us. To hear them, to see them, and to understand them. That is the beauty of that spiritual gift that we can offer.
The coming together, as it looks like, the integration is really a colonial relationship. So at this point in time, it needs to go in a direction that is controlled by Indigenous people and community.
Ultimately, I think that what we need to do is we need to build our own streams of healthcare, even if it's in mainstream institutions, but we have all of our traditional healers, we have all of our wisdom keepers, all of our medicine people who are working alongside those institutions to make sure that our Indigenous people have access to both mainstream services as well as traditional forms of healing.
This conference was at the beginning of conversations, of discussions, of getting to know and understand who we are as Indigenous peoples. And to me, that's exciting, and that has a lot of potential.